Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Mostly Sci-Fi. And I am your host, Mostly Sci-Fi. So, congratulations to me for finally finishing Alien Genocide. Oh my gosh, it took like a year because I saw when I started. I started on December 31st. And so here it's like 11 months already. Wow, 11 months. It's like what, November 9th or something like that? Oh, November 10th. And now I'm finally finished. So it took me almost a year. And that's because I had other things going on. And I told you about the other things that were happening. And I just couldn't juggle these things all at once. Okay, but now I have a lot of time to do what I want to do, and I want to grow this channel, and I guarantee you down the line there's going to be just some spectacular stuff that I'm going to be doing, some spectacular books that I'll be reading. So I hopefully you guys stick with me and just trust me this time, because I know I've told you like 2 other times, yeah, I'm going to stick with it, and then I kind of left. But seriously, this time I'm in here for the long haul. I've invested like money into this thing. You know, as you can see, I got a new Shure mic. This is a Shure mic. You know how much those things cost, right? And I got lighting and cameras and everything and all that stuff. So I'm very serious about this channel, and I really want to focus. I really want to focus on this channel. I got some other channels. They're okay, but I want to focus on this one. So without a doubt, I am very happy that I have finished Alien Genocide. And I know that some of you guys, when I asked, like, what do you want me to read after that? Because I said in a couple of weeks I'll be finished with Genocide, and that was 10 days ago, right? So I finished before I thought I would finish, right? Because the other day I was like, why don't I just do like 22 to the finale? Because that book was good. Like Daniel Grant, he reminds me of a... Let me look for this guy. He reminds me for the protagonist or the antagonist of difficult to pronounce. It's like Alien something Chernobyl or something like that. You can tell that I'm kind of like a bit rusty. Let me see. Let me see if I put alien books in chronological order. So if I do that, then I can find out like which book it is. Right? They probably won't even have it. You see this? Watch. See? They won't have it. It's not these books. Okay, so they got another one here. The alien novels here. And let's see if I can go down. Charybdis. It's called something like Charybdis. Okay, oh, Alien Colony War. So I guess that came out in April 2002. I might have to go find that and read that one, which is interesting. Okay, Into Charybdis. This is my favorite alien novel. And there's a guy on here who I really liked. Oh, it is not Into Charybdis. Okay, but it is from Alex White. Okay. So he has like 2 books, but I have to go back a little bit. It's not Into Charybdis. It's which one? The Code Forge. Okay. All right. So it's the Code Forge, and this guy reminds me of someone in the Code Forge. Okay. So I have to put aliens, Cold Forge, characters, right? And I should have this all. You know, when I do these videos, like it's all like it's just off the cuff, man. I know like kind of what I'm gonna talk about, but it's kind of like off the cuff. Okay, so here we got the alien. He reminds me of Dorian Sudler. Like Dorian is very kind of like alpha dog, but he's really bad. Like Dorian is like really, but he's my favorite character in the Alien universe. If you haven't read Alien, the Code Forge, Aliens, the Code Forge, you must read it. I think it is the best alien novel by far, and I've read basically all of them. Okay, I know people love like Genocide, but I don't think Genocide got anything on the Code Forge. Like the Code Forge is really, really good. I listened to it on audiobook. I listened to it like 3-4 times. Like my favorite book, like of all time, is Stephen King's Misery. Okay, I can listen to that back to back. Like when I say back to back, I mean finish it like on audiobook and it's finished, and then go back and read it again and listen to it again, like a day or two later, and still find things different and things that I didn't catch before. Okay, so like Misery is my favorite novel of all time, although I don't like Stephen King and his views very much nowadays because he's like getting loony and stuff. But when he was in his heyday, when he was writing well, Misery was, I think, is one of his best works. Okay, and so I can listen to that nonstop. And my second pretty much novel that I can listen to like just not back to back, but I can listen to it and then go back like a few months later and listen to it again, is Aliens Code Forge. And it's really good. It's just, it has the horror element and everything. You know, I don't know if it's the narrator or whatever, because I didn't actually read it. I listened to the audiobooks. So I really loved Alien Code Forge. Okay. But anyway, I've been talking enough about Alien. So what's the next book that I'm about to do? And I thought basically that I was going to do, gosh, now I'm lost. I thought that I was going to do Alien Harvest. Now, I will do that eventually. I know that most people want Alien Harvest. I only got 16 votes. I lost so many people. Like, in the beginning, I had so many people that was coming to my channel, and then I left, and I just lost a lot of people. And you know what? I got the skills to gain them back, so I'm not worried too much. So, oh my God, you scared me. God darn it. See, close the door. Oh my God, she scared me. I'm sorry. Because what I'm talking about is like scary. Okay, what I'm getting ready to talk about. So, Alien Harvest, I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it later. And maybe some of you might not agree with that. And I hope that you can forgive me, because I think I have something better and I have an idea that's better. And I want to present it to you now, and I'm going to give you the story about that. Okay, so basically I was like, oh, I got to do another Alien. And I'm like, Alien is all right, but to tell you the truth, it's not scary enough for me. Like, sci-fi is supposed to be, to me, it's supposed to be horror. You know, like mostly horror and then science. And Alien is kind of, you know, it's like, oh, it's good, but it's like, Even Genocide, I was like, I thought it would be a little bit more. Like, you got the Queen Mother. What about the Empress? You know, I want to know about the Empress. The Empress is supposed to be really taller than the Queen Mother and all this kind of stuff. And it's not in canon. You know, so it's not in canon. So it's kind of like, it's okay. I'll read it because people want it to be read. but I want to go for something more creepier. Okay? And then at first I was going to do true crime, and that was going to be this. And I told you, yo, I'm going to do this, the true crime, right? Charlotte true crime stories, cuz I'm living in Charlotte. And I was like, yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, I can do true crime. And then I started reading through it, and I was like, it's okay. I mean, it can be good, all right, but I need something more, And I was like, I'll eventually get to reading this, maybe. But I was like, I need something better. And so I went to some place called the Book Rack, which is down the street from me in North Carolina, right? And, they got all these books for under $5. You can buy, like, books for 1 cent and all that other stuff. They crazy, man. I was like, Jesus, you got a treasure trove, right? Treasure trove. And then I found this book, which is called Whitley Strieber. It's called The Greys, and it's from Whitley Strieber. And it's about what I believe to be real aliens. Okay, we're reading about, like, aliens that are not real, that can potentially be, if we use the vast stretch of our imagination, it could be real, but it doesn't mean that it will be, that it is real, right? What I'm reading is science fiction. And so when I picked up true crime, I was like, well, this is fiction, but it's not science. And then this came. And then I picked up The Greys. But then I was like, this is still not enough. Okay? So The Greys is about these aliens, extraterrestrials that have landed on a planet. People think it's real. People think that this thing is possibly, this phenomenon of UFO and abductions are possibly real. Okay? And I was like, yeah, Whitley Strieber is good. I looked at his movie. I saw his movie. It's called Communion. I read his book. But there was something that is even more terrifying, and which I don't have the physical book. I was looking for it because I like to have the physical book before I read it online. Okay? Couldn't find a physical book. The guy's name is Bud Hopkins. Okay? And so I'm going to tell you the story of how I got into him. How I got into it, because I ended up reading mostly all his books, at least on alien abductions. When I was 15, because I was basically an orphan. And then I went through the group home system, basically. I didn't have any parents or anything. I just kind of just supported myself and just floated along, right, in the system. And I was in a group home and in New York, and you didn't really have anything to do. You just, after school, there was really nothing to do. They didn't give you that much homework. Or when they did, I didn't really do it. I wasn't a great student. And so there was a lot to do after 3 o'clock. Okay, from 3 to 8, there was a lot to do. And so I wasn't a sports player or anything. And what you could do was walk around White Plains and, just try to find something to do or maybe find a job. I was too young to have a job. And so I used to hang out at Borders Books because that's the time that Borders had just started to open up, right? You got Borders versus Barnes and Nobles. And I used to go to Borders Books and, you pick up the books and you read, because I loved reading. I loved books. You didn't have phones and anything like that back in those days. It was like 1995, 1994. And so I picked up this book from this guy called Bud Hopkins, and I think he has already died. Okay, to August 2011, bless his soul, may he rest in peace. And he wrote this book called Intruders. Okay, And this book is, it says the incredible visitations at Copley Woods. Now I saw this and I was like, oh, let me read it. Okay, so I was like, oh, this is like, it's horror kind of, because it could be real, right? And it is kind of scientific. It's not Star Trek or anything like Star Wars or Aliens, because I was still interested in aliens back in those days, the Alien movie and all that stuff, right? But I wanted some more oomph, right? And I picked up this book, and I didn't have enough money. I didn't have enough money for 1 week to pay for it. So it took me like 2 weeks to pay for it, even though it was like only $7. We only got like $2 or $3 allowance. So at first I read the book. I read some of the book there, and I asked like to borrow some money from some people, and I bought the book. Okay, so I bought the book, and then I brought it back home. I opened the first page. This came out in 1987. I read it in like 1993 or 4 or something like that. It got to be like, okay, between 1994 and 1997. Okay? And so I picked this book up, and I took it home, and I said, this is going to be interesting. And I read this book, and I was terrified. Oh my God. This book terrified me. I don't know why. I read it. And as the lady was telling what was happening to her and her family, because these are first-hand accounts of alien abduction, of this alien visitation, of abductions and, you know, extraterrestrial stuff, visitations. And I didn't really believe in that stuff, you know, back in the day. I didn't believe in it. I was just like, yo, well, this is as real as it gets, right? And so when I read it, I was terrified. And he introduced me to extraterrestrials and stuff like that, and got me to believe. Okay? I mean, I watched X-Files and all that, but you don't believe that stuff. You're just like, oh, okay, yeah. When I read this, I believed everything. And so after that, then I bought, what's this guy? Johnny Mack. Okay? And John E. Mack wrote a book called, I think it was called Abductions. Let me see. Because he has something. Okay, yeah. So it says Abduction, Human Encounters with Aliens. So he wrote that, and like, yeah, see, in somewhere in 1994. So right when that book came out, I bought it. Okay, and that book was a lot. It was like $10, you know, at the time. And I used to save my money for comic books, but I was like, F comic books. I gotta buy this to read it, and it terrified me. And the crazy stuff is that he died from a drunken driver, or supposedly a drunken driver. Like, after he had basically, he was in a conference, like a UFO conference or something. I forgot what kind of conference. And then a drunken driver hit him, and then his family kind of forgave the person that killed him. And then the person that killed him got only 6 months in prison, which was just crazy. And there's all conspiracies about how he died and why he died. Look up Johnny Mack, okay? You're not gonna find him on Google. You have to like Johnny Mack Wikipedia him, and then you find out about his death, and then you try to you can extrapolate stuff from there. Okay, so that was kind of scary and stuff like that, and then I went on to David M. Jacobs, who's still alive. Like, he's the only one out of the, I think, Whitley Strieber might be alive too. So this guy Whitley Strieber, I think he's still alive. So Whitley Strieber and David M. Jacobs are the only ones kind of left. Whitley Strieber's is kind of like almost like a kook a little bit. He's kind of kooky. So when he's saying stuff, I kind of, because he's not backing it up with any scientific evidence. Okay, so I was going to high school at that time, so I needed evidence. He was not backing it up by any evidence. He just said this stuff happened to me. Okay, David M. Jacobs, which I believe he is a Temple University PhD. He got a PhD in everything and all this kind of stuff. Johnny Mack was a Harvard bestseller because he wrote something about T.H. Lawrence. You know what that's in Lawrence of Arabia? So he wrote like his whole biography and he won like a Pulitzer Prize for that. And then he went to UFOlogy. Okay, so that's why his book was taken very seriously because he was a Harvard professor. Okay, so you got people in very high regard talking about this type of stuff. And that's what made me believe because even Bud Hopkins, he was a renowned painter. His stuff can be found in the Metropolitan Museum of Modern Art. And in another one, and there's another art museum in New York that he got his work inside of. So he got his work in London and New York. So he was accomplished before he started doing this type of stuff. Okay? And when I read Intruders, it terrified me so much that I swear to you guys, I'm just telling you, like, straight up. Because I used to sleep with the lights off all the time. I didn't care about, After I read Intruders and Missing Time, because that's what I'm going to do with you guys. I'm going to read Intruders, and then I'm going to read Missing Time. After I read Intruders, I slept with the lights on from like 15 on. Basically. Like, from then until now, I still sleep with the lights on. I swear to you guys. Before then, I slept with the lights off. After Intruders, after Missing Time, after Intruders, I was terrified to go to bed without the lights because while I was reading, it was like there was something inside of me, like whenever I saw the face of these things, like the things that they, like these things, it's terrifying. Whenever I see this, like the face of these things, and when I'm reading and then I see the face of them, it just terrifies me. It terrifies me to the core that you have some type of beings that are experimenting or doing things to people. And these people that are reporting it, they are like upstanding citizens. They got good jobs. They don't need the money. They don't need the attention to do this type of stuff. In fact, they keep private. All these people that talk, you don't hear about them. Okay? And so after this video, I'm going to upload a 30-minute reading. And you tell me if you want me to continue. Okay? You tell me if you want me to continue. I don't know. I'm probably going to continue anyway. But because it terrifies me. I'll read Alien, but it got to be later. Like, I got to read you guys this. And you have to experience the terror that I experienced. Okay? This was way before Mel Gibson's sightings. Mel Gibson made a movie about that, right? I don't know the name of it. I forgot the name of it. But he made a movie about that. And when I saw the movie, it also terrified me because the notion that these things can be real. Why can't you believe in these things, but you can believe in God? There's so many people that believe in God and Jesus Christ, but don't believe in these type of beings. these humanoids, right? You look at Alien, I look at Alien, I'm like, yo, that's the worst of it. But they're not intelligent. We can probably kill him if we can. If we had the chance, we could probably kill him, right? Egg land on here. I know it rapes you, right? And they rape you. They do. That's what the aliens do. They like xenomorphs. They insert like basically they busting a nut inside your mouth, right? And the nut is coming out your belly. But they don't have no other kind of powers. These things, they can psychologically make you forget as they rape you, as they take your sperm. They take your sperm to create hybrids. You know, like it's all kinds of stuff. Like they're stealing your sperm. They're doing these kinds of experiments on you. And you look at them, right? And they look human. Like you could see somebody like me, like another guy, right? And you know, people have reported this. You see the face, and the face looks human, but you know it's not. It's the face that they want to show you because they don't want you to be terrified of what they are. So which means if they take this off, if they take the mask off, like the whatever it is off, that it is even more terrifying. Because when they're talking to you, you can know that it's masked. Everything is masked, and what they're doing is they're taking sperm from you. I remember there was a TV show, American Horror Story, and I think it's season 11. You got to see that. There's a 2-part series, and one is about alien abduction. That was scary. That was pretty kind of almost intense what they were doing. And all I'm saying is I'm going to read this, Intruders. And then after Intruders, I'm going to read Missing Time. I don't know if I'm going to go to the Grays. I got to read this first. Like, I haven't read it yet. But he's kind of like existential and stuff. He's too existential for me. But I bought it because it was there. I wanted to support the business. The reason why I'm not reading him first is because he has no scientific evidence, okay? This guy, Whitley Strieber, has pictures, scientific evidence, science evidence, polygraph tests, radiologists, or the radiology, scientists from radiology coming to check the soil and all that stuff. He got, this is why it wasn't just a regular book that I was reading. I was like, this is bullshit. Because when I first picked it up, I was like, yeah, this is going to be bullshit, right? And then he started explaining the process and how I can change your mind. Because I'm approaching it through science, scientific evidence, analysis, okay? I'm not approaching it through, oh, yeah, I just believe in it. No, we have scientific forensic evidence, right? And so that's what I'm going to read to you after this one, and I would hope that you can enjoy this. But if you're terrified, then I would have done my job. Okay, I don't know if I'm going to be able to terrify you because the imagination of a 15-year-old, you know, I grew up in the Bronx and Harlem. I've been through the craziness, okay, of just the dangerous neighborhoods and all that stuff. That doesn't hold a candle to when I read Intruders and Missing Time. I could not sleep with the lights on, and even to this day, I turn on the lights before I go to bed. I don't sleep with the lights off. I just don't. Okay, and today is not about the extraterrestrials or anything. It's just, I think the novel left a residual effect on my psyche. Okay, and that I cannot sleep with the lights on anymore, with the lights off. I cannot do it. It left some kind of residual effect. It's some kind of subconscious effect. And, Bud Hopkins is responsible for that. So I want to present that to you. This is supposed to be mostly sci-fi, right? Well, mostly. So this is mostly sci-fi out. And I hope you enjoyed this episode. And stay sharp, people. Stay sharp.
Flag. Yeah, boy. Shame on you. How dare y'all say I can't do no intro? Yo, shame on you. Flag. Shame on you. I ain't got shit. Yo. I'm the one-man army A-song. I never been taken out. I keep MCs looking out. I drop signs like Cosby dropping babies. Enough to make a nut go crazy. In the G building, taking all types of medicines. Your ass thought you were better than A-son. I keep planets in orbit while I be coming with deeper emotion. Enough to make you break, you shake your asses. I create rhymes good as a tasty cake. Makes this style, I'm mastering it. Ninjas got your headaches, what? You need aspirin? This type of pain, you couldn't even get with mine on. Freak around and get sprayed with Lysol in your face like a can of mace, baby. Is it burning? Well, freaking now you're learning how. I don't even like your mother freaking profile. Give me my freaking shit, bow. Now seen and heard, no one knows. You forget, ninjas be quiet as kept. Now you know nothing. Before you knew a whole blood clot lot. Your ass don't wanna get shot. A lot of MCs came to my showdown and watch me put your freaking ass go down. As you can go below zero, without a doubt, I never been taken out by enough who couldn't figure, but enough who couldn't figure, but enough who couldn't figure how to pull a freaking gun trigger. I should get the freak out of here. Ninjas wanna get too close to the utmost, but I got stacks that attack any whack host. Introducing yo, fuck that ninja's name. My hip hop dropped on your head like rain, and when it rains it pours, cause my rhymes hardcore. That's why I give you more of the raw talent that I got will reside the spot. MCs I'll be burning hot. Whoa, let me like slow with the flow. If I move too quick, oh, you just don't know. I'm homicidal when you enter the target. Ninja wanna act up like a pig, try to hog so I take your ass out quick. The mics I've had in my ninja, you can suck my dick. If you wanna step to my mother freaking wreck, yo, blah, 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 blown to death. You got shot cause you knock. Who's there? Another mother freaking hard rock. Slacking on your mackin' cause rolls what you lack. You wanna react? Bring it on back. Shame on you when you step through to the old dirty bastard. Shame